Start of part 4.
Well, I guess we've been going for a bit, so yeah, we can rock and roll questions. People out there who have questions.
I forgot about questions. Oh no.
We can do at Robert or at Max, and it should pop up with our name and the banner.
Hopefully, Brett will be
Animal
on next
Farm,
week.
That's another good book. Yeah, I'm glad someone mentioned that one. That shows you. Yeah.
The one I was thinking of is called 6 Mark of the Beast. I watched it a month ago or something, and I think that is my movie review on it. If it shows up in the chat.
Okay.
Sometimes I copy and paste stuff and it doesn't show up.
Is that a new movie? Because I never heard of it.
Like 2005, I think.
Wow. It's kind of
has Stephen Baldwin.
old.
But
Boy.
it's not your standard trope movie where these people are trying to stop the chip. Like changes people, and they're going to the master computer where they're gonna blow up the computer to stop the chip and hopefully get people back to normal. And there's a lot of Christianity in there. It's just not a story. It's not fantastic. It's just not a story that has all the tropes that I see. I've been watching a lot of pure flicks. And all of those movies have the exact same trope. It's always, separated husband-wife couple. There's always a pastor who loses his faith. It's always the same thing. And this one was a little different. I liked it. All right. So what do we got? I'm going to scroll all the way up. What do we have for me? Holiday live stream, Valerie. Yeah, we can chat. I don't even know what you'd want to talk about. I guess have fun pagan day or something. I'm not sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, tomorrow's is Halloween. Yale Day.
I do. I used to do pagan holiday special, but the website that I used that had every single pagan holiday on it has been shut down. So obviously, I don't study pagan holidays. So without that site, I can't do my deal. The less government involved, people's daily lives, the better. Yeah, that's called conservatism. The shepherd's ambassador, or what's the other word? The Ron Paulism. What do you call that?
I forget.
Libertarian.
Libertarian. Yeah. It's all about liberty. Yeah. Yeah. Where the Spirit of the Lord is, there's liberty. Where the Spirit of the devil is, what is it? Bondage.
Right.
So, yeah, you should want God in the Bible.
Yep.
Because you want liberty. You don't want to be slaves.
Yep.
But,
Hey, Jason, you're going to do a commentary? Okay, cool. Glad you enjoyed it, Jason. And it looks like that's all there is for me. I really wish, Brett, you could have made it, because you're the one who keeps an eye on chat the whole time. Yeah, that's all I got.
Have I got any? It's hard for me to scroll up.
Well, you're the only... They're not going to pop up for me.
The only one I saw was, did you plan on wearing camo? And I answered, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I got a new camo shirt.
Somebody asked if we went hunting together.
Oh, no. That would have been fun.
We went hunting for lost people.
There you go.
Christ.
Amen. Well, the Gospel's 1 Corinthians 15, 1-4. Amen.
King James Version.
Boy, how the devil hates that. He hates what Jesus did.
The true gospel, Paul Malonis.
CJPWI, why weren't you in Green Bay with Robert? We didn't have a place to stay. And we don't have money to pay for hotels for that amount of time, and then our car needs an engine rebuild. So that's pretty much the summation.
Sounds like 3 excuses to me. You could have walked.
Well, there was a few different. It's 5.5 hours from where we live, but our car burns about 2 quarts of oil a month, and it's a fairly new car. And they said, don't put oil in it anymore, and we're just going to rebuild the engine. So that's what they're going to do.
So someone's asking, or go ahead.
Amy is asking me show my shirt. Some people.
Yeah, that was it. It's Infowars.com. That's Alex Jones.
Yep.
He's very secular. Yeah.
And then I have my don't tread on me.
Yeah, that's what I got. We didn't plan that. How about that? If you know who Alex Jones is, he's got a lot of good information, a lot of good material. Right. Like I said, he's secular. He claims to be a Christian. I don't know. But here's the thing. When I listen to Alex Jones, it brings me down. It drags me down because it's true. A lot of what he's saying is great, but it's so sad. So if I want to be uplifted and joyous and happy in the Lord, I don't listen to him that often. But I do like to know what's going on in the world, and he does give you, before the news happens, a lot of times what's going on. So if you can listen to Alex Jones, just don't let him drag you down into the dumps, which is oftentimes what happens.
It's absolutely
Right.
impossible.
Yeah.
He's been going more and more and more into the fear market because he has more and more and more of his own products. And the whole thing is about getting you to fear things so you can buy a product to solve this fear that you have. And meanwhile, you're listening to Alex Jones. He does have some good information, but I think the last time I listened to him was maybe a year ago, and it was basically a commercial every 5 minutes, and he really didn't have anything to say except,
Yeah.
buy my
Right.
rod. You know, I mean,
Right. And it could be so much better.
Yeah.
But it's not what he says, what he doesn't say. He could say so much more. So I just, I would love to see him tell people how to get saved, because that's the one thing that's missing from there. He's not telling you what the gospel is. And you don't fight the New World Order physically. You fight it spiritually by getting
Yay.
people saved, because that's
Yep.
one less person the devil can rule over
Exactly,
when he
Rob.
comes. Someone's asking any other books I put up there. My dad's, one of his favorite books was How to Get Well by Pavel Ariola. And it's a book about, if this is wrong with your body, these are the different kinds of herbs and vitamins and things that you can take. And it's a very good reference book for helping you if you've got problems. So I've posted that up there. Someone else asked something about the peace plan. I have not heard. I thought he was going to announce that already, Trump, and they've been putting it off. One thing I heard while I was up in Wisconsin, though, is that Israel is on the verge of war. They're being attacked ruthlessly by Hamas, and so it sounds almost like Israel's going to go to war to wipe out Hamas. And I say, great,
Yep,
because
I
those are
support
evil,
Israel.
wicked Muslim people.
Exactly.
And what is Islam? Islam is the worship of Allah.
Yep.
And guess who Allah is? Allah is
It's
Satan.
Satan of
You
the
can go to
Bible.
WorldNet Daily and type in Allah, God of Violence, and look up that old
Better
thing.
listen to
The
this.
archaeologists have
Paul
discovered
Molinas.
in old 1700 BC a writing that Allah is the God who rebelled against the true God and tried to take over his throne in heaven. He's the God of war and violence. Who's that
Yeah.
sound like?
you just got yourself kicked out of Europe. I hope you
Isaiah
understand
14. Well, that's great, because I don't need to go there. If
Yep.
you're going to let Lucifer take over Europe, then I don't want to go there. But that's who Allah is. Allah is Satan.
Yep.
You've got to know that. And then it all makes sense.
It does.
That's why we need to stay as far away from Allah as we can.
Yeah, just so you know, it's against the law in most Western European countries to say anything bad about Muhammad at all.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they will fine you. And people like me who do Christian channels, for some reason, my videos never make it over to these countries. And I disputed that fact. All I did was read an article where it said that this woman was fined for saying that Muhammad was a pedophile because he married a 6-year-old and consummated his marriage when the girl was 9, and said, how could anyone say this is not pedophilia? This is a news article that I am just reading. And this is fact. This is not, I am calling him nasty names. This is fact.
Right.
And YouTube says, nope, Max, no.
This is
We're
why I
not gonna have your
support
video
Tommy
up.
Robinson.
we're not going to deal with you because
Yeah.
we can't attack Muhammad. We can't do that. No. So, let you know how bad things are.
Right. Yeah. It's just really sad. Yeah. And someone says Allah is the pagan god, the moon god. Yeah. Yeah. I had someone
That's
call me the
right.
other day, and we're talking about all throughout history, you have people that worship the sun and the moon. And it's interesting that the sun is a type of Christ. So what is the moon? You know, the light is Jesus. Well, what is the devil? He's trying to be a light. He's trying to mimic the true light. So, I'm not saying that Jesus is the S-U-N. He's the S-O-N. But it's a type of Jesus Christ, the sun. And so the moon god is the false god. So any way you look at Allah, he's not true. He's not the true God.
Yep.
And if that makes you evil for saying that, well, then good. Because
Yep.
Paul says, have I therefore become your enemy because I tell you the truth?
Yep.
And we're living in a day and age when you're not allowed to say truth. Someone wrote right here, Muhammad was a pedo. Amen. That's 100% truth. He had sex with a little girl. That's a pedophile.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That's a devil. That should be hung. Anybody that does that, because that's sick.
Sick. Yep.
And it's not right. It's not right. And yet we're supposed to cower down to those people? I can't do it. I have to defend the poor little girls so they don't get raped. And I think that's horrible what that dirtbag did. That's
Exactly.
disgusting.
So I have a
And you go ahead.
question from Sarah Finley, and I don't know about anything about these the Ashkenazi Jews. At
Yeah.
Robert Breaker, are the Ashkenazi Jews the ones who claim they are Jews but are not?
I'm not going to get into that because I don't know enough about that.
Yeah, I don't know
There-
anything about
there
the
are
Ashkenazi
Different
Jews.
types of Jews. There are some that are claimed to be Jews that aren't. Are they the ones that aren't? I don't know.
Oh man, there's a whole bunch. There's a whole
There
like
are.
bunch of African guys. They're like, oh
Yeah.
yeah, Jews
The
are all
black Jews.
They're all just black
Yeah.
people. I'm like,
So-
what?
What I'm going to do is ask the Lord when I get to heaven. But it is funny that those Jews are called the Ashkenazi Jews. Nazi, N-A-Z-I on the end, you know. I thought the Nazis killed the Jews, so it's kind of funny. But I want to study more about that. I don't like getting into stuff that I don't know enough about.
Yeah, I don't know anything
Yeah.
about them either.
And then you know, then preach on it, and then you find out you're wrong later. So I don't know. I don't know. So I don't know. Petty
What
file.
verse says? Pancake Cow Max, what verse says the Antichrist will rule the entire earth?
We looked at several of those.
Yeah, David, chapter 4, I think? No, Daniel.
Daniel. Yep.
Yeah, and I read
Daniel
several.
7:23. Thus he said, the fourth beast shall be the fourth kingdom upon the earth, which shall be diverse from all kingdoms, and shall devour the whole earth, and shall tread it down and break it to pieces. Is that? And of course, in Revelation,
Okay.
you have that whole deal. And we've covered Revelation for like the last 3 times that we've been on.
Yeah.
So,
And I read several verses at the beginning of this in case you missed it about that.
yeah.
But yeah. Someone's asking about the economic collapse. There must be an economic collapse eventually so that people are forced to take the mark of the beast. But when? That's the question. I
Ain't
don't
gonna be
know.
now.
So,
It ain't gonna be now. The one thing about Donald Trump, unemployment is the lowest it's been since 1960.
right. And
Under Obama, check this out. Under Obama, all the Mexicans and Spanish, whatever, immigrants, whatever you want to call them, migrant workers, they all left. They all went back home under Obama because there was no jobs anywhere for them to do. Trump's in town, jobs everywhere. Everybody has a now hiring sign in my little town. Everybody. And we got the flood coming up from Mexico for everyone coming back to go work. You know, I mean, it's one of those political things, but it is pretty funny. There ain't going to be an economic collapse as long as Trump is in charge. It's not going to happen. They're going to get another Obama in there, and he's going to wreck everything. This is what's going to happen.
now, if there is an economic collapse, that's something to think about before the rapture. Having a bunch of dollar bills isn't going to cut it.
Not.
So, you know, if you've got a whole bunch of dollar bills and an economic collapse happens, what if people no longer want dollars? So, you know, people say buy silver, buy whatever you buy something that's useful that you can barter with. You know what's going to be the most sought after commodity if the collapse takes place?
Bone broth.
Toilet paper. Think about it. Everyone's out of toilet paper. You'd be the richest man in the world if you had a shed full of toilet paper. You know, what do you trade me for it? 20 chickens. I just need some toilet paper. So, you know, someone says ammo. Yeah, you can trade ammo, but I don't want people to know I have ammo, you know. So don't buy gold. Gold is more valuable than silver. Buy little dimes, silver dimes. And you know, you don't want a 1 ounce silver round and say, hey, will you give me a piece of bread? You say, well, I have this little tiny piece of silver. Okay, you know, and there's just things you can have, but think about, you know, what can I have that is good in case the economy does collapse, and just store it away. You know, don't go into debt buying it. If you have extra money, buy some, and then just keep it. Like food, you can never go wrong having stored food, even if you don't use it. It lasts 25 years, and who can use it? Somebody in the tribulation, so they don't take the mark of the beast. They just might live off of your food storage. Seeds. You can buy these different kind of seeds, heirloom seeds, not GMO, in a package that lasts like 20 years. Never know when you might need those seeds. So just things to think about But I'm telling you can't go wrong with toilet paper, man. That'll be the thing to trade in the future because people will want that.
Yeah, and it's not like the New World Order is just going to happen like right overnight. We've been watching it happen for years and years, and it's
Yep.
just slowly getting there. And depending on who's in power, it goes fast, and then it slows down a little bit.
Yep.
And then it goes fast, and then it
Yeah.
slows down a little bit. And then we go slow fast, and then it slows down a little
And
bit.
it's slowing down under Trump because he makes the appearance of he's anti-globalist, anti-New World Order, and that's great. And I just sit there and go, yay! But what if he's gone tomorrow? And the next guy comes in and keeps going the way.
What if somebody tries to take him out because they don't like his opinion on stuff?
Exactly. Yeah. What verse says the Antichrist will rule the entire world? We told you that, and
Yeah,
I've given
exactly.
you several in the beginning, so you've got those verses. Yeah.
Got one here. What about Daniel 11? Sounds like Antichrist, verse 34, 38.
Well, Daniel 11 is pretty amazing because it talks about the
There is no-
Antichrist.
Yeah, there is no verse 34, 38 in Daniel 11.
So they're thinking of something else.
Oh,
But
wait,
in
wait, wait.
Daniel 11,
Maybe no, I'm on the wrong thing. I was on Revelation 11. 34. Now they shall fall, and they shall holpen with a little help. But many shall cleave unto them with flatteries, and some of them shall be understanding shall fall to them, till they purge and make them white, even to the time of the end, because it is yet time appointed. And the king shall do according to his will, and he shall exalt himself and magnify himself above every god, and shall speak marvelous things against the gods of gods, and shall prosper till indignation be accomplished. For that is determined shall be done. Neither shall he regard the God of his fathers, nor desire of women, nor regard of any god, for he shall magnify himself above all. Sounds like an earthly god, but I guess. I haven't read through.
well, I think it's talking about the Antichrist there in 11.
Yeah.
But I don't have time to read that. But there's some interesting stuff there because some of the stuff that happens there sounds like Obama.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it really does.
They had to recut that movie, the Bible movie, because the guy they had play Satan looked just like Obama.
Yeah.
Right.
Isn't that funny? But
I don't think they were far off, and I don't think that they did that on accident. I don't.
What are your thoughts on what will be the one world currency? Well, it's going to be a mark in the right hand of the forehead, so it's probably some sort of a chip, or something that holds your account number in which you use that. So all money will be in a form of a computer or a computer chip. There was an odd movie I saw several years ago in which a person had time, and that's how much time they had to live, and it was like money. They could get more time. You know which one I'm talking about? It had that Justin Timberlake in it. Timeline was it? Time something. I thought that was interesting, but it sounds like the chip will hold your money. Now, there's a thing called NESARA, NESARA, and it's supposedly, and I don't even know if it's true, but I've read it. They've said that the international bankers are guilty of stealing from everyone. Mm-hmm. And so if you take what they've stolen, everyone in the world can have $5 to $7 million. And so NESARA is supposedly the National Economic Something Restore Act or something. And it says that, everyone should be restored what was taken from them. So can you imagine if the Antichrist, when he shows up, he says, you know what? Everybody really deserves $5 million. So if you just stand in this line over here and take this little chip, well, we'll put $5 million on that chip. And you can just go spin, spin, spin. I mean, that'd be a long line of people saying, I want $5 million. How few people will say, no, cut off my head?
$5 million at that point would be worth about $5,000.
Well, or it could be worth more. It just all depends. But it will be incentive for someone to say, yeah, I'll take that. That's 5 million reasons for me to not get my head cut off. And yet it'll make you look stupid when you're the one that says, no, I want my head cut off. What about Bitcoin? I think Bitcoin is kind of the start. All you have to do is put the Bitcoin account into a chip, and there you got the mark of the beast. So Bitcoin, I think, is heading toward that. And it could very well be.
You got any more on your end? I don't see anything.
Let me look one more time. Can you explain the meaning of calling on the name of the Lord? I think that's a different subject. kind of off stream. We've talked about that before. I like 2 Timothy 2:22. It says, they that call upon the Lord of a pure heart. So calling on the Lord is not just with your mouth saying, oh, Jesus. It's something to do with something coming from your heart, not just from your mouth. And a lot of people don't understand that. And it's so sad. They think if you just say with your mouth, Jesus, then you're saved. Because the Bible says, whosoever shall call upon the name of the Lord shall be saved. Okay, I'm a lost carpenter putting a roof on a house, and boom, I hit my finger with a hammer. Oh, Jesus! I just got saved, right? Because I called for it. No, it's coming from the heart. It must be accompanied by faith. And so
trusting in the gospel, what Jesus did.
Yes, it can come out the mouth, but it should come from the heart. So I don't have time to talk about calling upon the name of the Lord, but there are some people out there who we will not name who do not understand that. And they erroneously tell people that calling on the name of the Lord is only with your mouth, and that if your mouth you say, oh, Jesus, save me, then they say you're mystically, suddenly saved. And they omit salvation by faith from the heart. So they make salvation with the mouth, not by believing from the heart. Those people are not teaching the Bible as it's supposed to be taught. Salvation is not something you say or you pray. It's when you believe from the heart.
Yep.
Is that what Romans Road is?
Well, the Romans Road, from my understanding, was started by a guy named Hyles, Jack Hyles. And it's basically, he went to Romans and he said, let's take a couple verses out and let's use those verses for how to get saved. And the last verse is always Romans 10:13. And usually now it's only 4 verses. So you tell a person these 4 verses and then you say, now pray after me or repeat after me or ask Jesus to save you based upon Romans 10:13 and the twisting of the word calling.
But that is actually what the Romans wrote, because that's kind of what I thought.
Right. Now you can take a Romans road and have other verses in Romans and then say, now trust. And I do that. I take people to Romans a lot and tell them trust these verses. But I don't twist a verse out of context and tell them that call means with the mouth only, when the very next couple of verses say you got to believe from the heart and the calling is from the heart.
Yep.
The righteousness which is of faith speaketh on this wise, say not in thy heart. It's got to come from the heart, the belief, not just...
Even I had questions for Robert Breaker. How about that?
Amen.
RFID, the possible mark of the beast, Bitcoin. No, the mark of the beast is going to be a national system. What's going to happen first is everyone's going to agree on a currency, just like they have in EU right now, where they have the European, whatever they call the thing. And that will be the international currency, and everyone will still keep their own currency, but you'll still have this international thing, and the values are going to change between your country's home currency and the international currency. And eventually, as things get more conglomerated, it's going to go into a digital system, because who needs to know what the value of which money should I use? My international money, or should I use my money that's in my town? Well, if I had a chip, it would just take care of that for me. And that's the way that I see it's going to roll out. That's how we see it.
Yep. So the mark of the beast, remember, is 3 parts: the name, the number, and the mark. Someone says there's someone now that's making people take a chip in their hand. Yes, that's true. But that's just the mark, the chip. Where's the name and where's the number? So it has to be all 3 to be the mark of the beast. And it can't happen before the rapture. So it'll be all 3. So when you take that chip and that mark, the number is 666, but there's going to be a name. And you are going to literally be chattel. You're going to be cattle. You're going to be saying, by taking that mark, that I worship the one-man ruler. If you remember World War II, if you studied World War II, Hitler made all soldiers make a vow to him. So when you became a soldier in the army of Germany, you had to literally take a vow to Adolf Hitler to serve him. That's a precursor of the Antichrist. When the Antichrist comes and you take your mark, you will probably, at that very same moment you take that mark, take a vow, I will serve you, Antichrist, forever. That's a scary thing, to make a vow like that to a man. That is very scary. Allegiance to a person. No, you have an allegiance to a flag if you're from a country. But to make an allegiance unto death, to die for some man, that's creepy. That's really creepy. Yeah. I would have rather died than make an allegiance to Hitler if I lived in Germany.
Before the rapture happens and things, they're trying out different deals with the computer chips, and a lot of militaries are actually if you join the military, that's just part of being in the military. Rather than wearing dog tags, they just chip you. That's not the mark of the beast.
Yep.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
the thing that they're doing to test it out, make sure it works. And it does make sense if you're a military guy not to have your dog tags so no one knows who you are. They can just chip you.
Right.
It kind of does.
But I wouldn't want that.
No,
Definitely don't want that.
that's right, Rob.
I mean, you don't need to go, don't go get chipped just so you can buy groceries quicker.
Yep.
Everyone knows you got a whole pocket full of coupons anyway.
Look for somebody's house that has storable food. I lived there for 7 years. Yeah. Hopefully.
That's what they said. There's a lot of preppers out there, and that's kind of the ongoing joke. As people that are in the prepper community, and they talk amongst themselves, and I don't remember who the speaker's name was, but they said, "What are you doing to prepare for the end times?" And he goes, "Well, I just bought a gun." And he goes, "Really? That's it?" And I'm like, "Well, yeah. Like no storable food? And do you got a pilot's license?" And I'm like, "Well, yeah, but I got a gun. I can just take the food from people."
Yeah.
So his prepping plan is basically to rob everybody. And
That's great. Now he's a thief.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I wouldn't want that plan because the guy's got a 308. He could hit you from a couple hundred yards before you even get to his house, and then he takes your gun when he goes to your dead body. So not a very smart plan.
No.
Pancake Cow, one person in chat, is very confused about salvation. First Corinthians 1-4.
Yep, I put that up earlier. It's trusting the blood atonement of Christ. What he did, he shed
That's
his blood for our sins.
Rob.
You trust what he did, you're saved. It's nothing that you do.
Exactly. Not asking.
Yeah.
Amen.
So any questions, even if they're off topic, put them in the actual, not the chat, but the comment section, and I'll try and keep an eye on it. And yeah, I think that's what we've been going for. Well,
the main thing we were trying to present was the New World Order, how the world really is, and this whole world system is the devil's setup. So that's what you got to get hold of. Don't covet the things of the world because they're the things of Satan. Covet the things of God. It says, "Lay up your treasures in heaven," and that's what we should do. We shouldn't care about the things down here. But with that said, make preparations down here. Think about other people. How can you help people? But most importantly, how do you get them saved? How can I help someone get saved? And take someone with you to heaven when the rapture comes. So that's it. And we do have a privilege of voting, so go vote out the evil. And you say, well, which one's evil? Well, both of them. So vote against the worst one. I mean, and then when the next time comes, vote the other guy. I mean,
I did a video on that.
Yeah.
What's wrong with voting of the lesser of two evils? Absolutely nothing. I mean,
you're never going to have a perfect candidate.
You're still voting for evil, and it's like everybody on the planet, unless Jesus Christ is running, is evil at some way, shape, or form.
Exactly, Max.
We've all got some sort of flaws, and we're all going to hell without Jesus. So don't tell me that voting for the lesser of two evils is a bad thing. No.
It's a good thing.
All right.
You're saying I'm against the evil, so
I
want the least evil.
I got this one was for you, but I'm going to take it from Aaron Good. I've heard from some YouTube videos that Sunday worship is possibly the mark. I personally think it's not. Aaron Good, that is a Seventh-day Adventist idea.
Right.
And that is something that I've been involved in for a while, and even Seventh-day Adventists don't believe that. That's a very, very, very out there idea for Seventh-day Adventists, but there are a lot that teach that you need to be going to church on Saturday and worshiping on Sunday is the mark of the beast, and that is what they teach. And they're the only ones that I'm aware of that teach that.
Right.
So there we are. And we've been going for over 2 hours, so we're going to have to close it down. Okay? We're going to have to. We're going to get food, do other stuff, and we can maybe pick this up on the same topic or something related to this next week, maybe. Put your questions in the comment section. And thank you all for joining.
Yep.
It was fun talking, and hopefully next time Brett can be here.
Amen.
Yep.
Well, I hope it's a blessing to y'all. I hope you see things differently now and focus in on the Lord rather than the world. Amen.
And buy your storable food.
Amen. Bone broth. The bone broth.
Buy your silver.
Yeah.
Get your bone raw. I gotta get my bone raw. Right?
It is funny, but it is good for you, and it can help. So study that too.
Yep.
Yeah, there is a lot of that stuff that they put out that actually is good stuff. It's just like, I think I actually do have Survival Shield. I think they want like $30 for some iodine. And it's like,
good
what?
stuff, though. Man, that's good stuff.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, good night, everybody. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you soon in the future.
Yep.
We are out of here.
Yep. Okay. Bye. Yep. And I say bye as well to everyone. But this is the end of part 4. Thank you. Bye.